Gunjan Singh.
Yes, sir.
You are from
Kanpur, UP, Uttar
Kanpur,
Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh. So Gunjan, tell me something about yourself.
Uh, Sir, I was born in Kanpur and I graduated from IIT Roorkee, and my branch was electrical engineering. After that, I was employed as a software developer in the Citibank in Pune, and in college I was active in certain elections. I stood up for the college president post, and also I got the opportunity of working in the villages and interacting with the people.
Okay. So are you still working or you left the job?
No, sir, I left the job.
How much time did you work for Citibank?
Sir, it was 1 year.
What was your responsibility at Citibank? You were a software developer.
Yes, sir. So, sir, for my responsibility was to create reports and dashboards for the other city employees who were handling the business decisions of city, and I was given the project of analyzing the data of the on the basis of the various products that city offers, and to analyze the data from the sales report to analyze the performance of each product, and then further report it to my
So did you use any specific language for coding?
Yes, sir, I worked on front end, so generally I used JavaScript and also used a business intelligence tool, MicroStrategy, on which interactive dashboards were created.
Can those tools be used for development of interfaces or programs for administration? Can that be of any use in administration?
Yes, sir. Sir, all these tools like my dashboard, it was interactive dashboard. It uses graphs and charts for explaining the data. And today, now we are moving towards big data, and we are moving towards digital India. Everything we need information that should analyze real time data and also give information. So it would ease up our governance process, and also for the bureaucrats and for laymen who could not understand basic the jargons of coding. So, sir, front end and all these things would ease up the governance process.
What is this big data?
Big data actually refers to the large volume of data, and the data which is just not large in volume, it is also very complex, and on those lines only, sir.
Okay, Gunjan, you did your electrical engineering, right?
Yes, sir.
But tell me something. I used to wonder about it. I got this mobile and there is a charger on
Yes,
which
sir.
I just press my mobile and it gets charged. So what is this charisma all about? How does it work, this charging? I just place my charger on that pad and it starts charging. How does it happen?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I do not have much idea about that, and
Have you heard of the word electromagnetic induction?
yes, sir.
How does it work?
Sir, in electromagnetic induction, as the current passes, a magnetic field is created around it, and so the process of the magnetic field that is created due to the moving electrons, it refers to the electromagnetic induction.
Can there be any correlation with that phenomena with this charging?
Yes, sir, there could be some correlation because the mobiles, they have a battery in them, and due to by the interface creation of electromagnetic induction, it would be possible that it is charging.
Okay. Now, I've got another confusion. Since you are electrical engineer from IIT, I would like to understand. See, I read somewhere that the speed of electron in a conducting wire is very slow, very slow. Some not even a centimeter per second. Very slow. And it is said that electric current is the flow of charge. So, if I use the switch behind you, if I switch it off, immediately the light will go off. So, if speed of electron is so slow, not even a centimeter per second, how does it happen instantly?
Sorry, sir, I have to read more about it.
Okay, let's talk about something else. You worked as intern somewhere. That company is called Schlumberger.
Yes, sir.
What is this company, Schlumberger?
It is an oil services provider company, and here it provides its services in the drilling operations and in analyzing the log tables from the wells drilled to the companies which have acquired the wells and the oil fields.
Where did you go for training?
Sir, I was posted. It was a 2 months training, and I was posted in Mumbai and Badmer, Rajasthan.
So, in that 2 months, on some part you were in Mumbai, another part
In Badmer, Rajasthan.
So, what is this Bombay High?
Bombay High is an offshore drilling oil field, and it has an oil platform, and yeah, it is an offshore oil platform.
And then you have got oil in Barmer also.
Yes, sir.
Who operates Barmer oil field?
Sir, Cairn is the major operator in Badmer.
Sir, I always come across this term called Brent crude.
Yes, sir.
So what is this Brent crude?
Sir, there are certain categories of crude oil, like Brent crude is one of them, and it is oil which has less sulfur content, and it is very good in quality. So it is one of the benchmark oils among many categories.
Then what is this sweet crude?
Yeah, so sir, sweet word refers to the degree of sulfur in it, hydrogen sulfide. So whenever sulfur content is less, it is known as sweet crude, and as the sulfur content increases, it becomes sour. We call it sour.
So is it also a sub part of Brent crude, or it's a different thing?
Sir, in my knowledge, Brent crude is a sweet crude, just like.
So you either you call it a sweet crude or Brent crude. Is there any specific percentage that is defined to call it a sweet crude or something else?
There would be, but I'm not sure of the. I have not much idea about the.
Okay, so another thing that I would like to understand, that is said that price of crude oil is this much dollar per barrel. How much is a barrel?
Sir, if a barrel is what I have read is 1 barrel amounts to 72 liters of gasoline petrol. So it would, I'm not sure it is exact 1 barrel is 72 liters or it is the refined 72 liters.
Now that we are talking about petroleum, I'm really concerned about the energy security of our country and overall. So how much is reserve left for the whole world? Approximate oil reserve left?
Sir, to talk about approximate oil reserves, sir, there is always many probable and proven reserves also. So to make a definite estimate about it would be wrong because of our better exploration techniques and more of explorations. More and more amount is coming up, though it is said that at the rate we are consuming it might get exhausted by 2050, but an accurate data has not yet been revealed.
What is the situation in India? How much reserve do we have? And is there any probability of getting new oil fields or new reserves from India?
Yes, sir. India has about 0.1% of, as I have read, of the total oil reserves, and it has been seen that there are 26 sedimentary basins. So it has been seen that we are constantly through open acreage policy and the help policy, there are more and more exploration going on. So it is being estimated that our domestic produce would increase up.
No, you're saying we are sitting in 2020. You're saying that approximately 2050 would be the deadline. In 30 years, we would be consuming all the oils. What should India be doing? Because our reserves, as you were saying, is less than 0.1% is what you're saying. What should India be doing? What should be the policy for our country, energy policy for our country?
So for energy policy, India has multifold options, and because of its tropical nature also we are endowed with renewable energy. So firstly, we as because of our climate deals, agreements, promises also, we are moving towards renewable energy. So we should explore more on the alternate energy. Then there are other unconventional hydrocarbons like coal bed methane, gas hydrates. So there is ample opportunity for us to move in that field. And regarding, there are certain other steps like using bioethanol and increasing their blending. So that would also make us more secure towards energy. And regarding importing, because we are still importing 83% of the oil, and given the kind of scenario, we should focus more on diversifying our import basket to make it more sustainable.
Okay. Now that there is a new craze of this battery operated vehicles, which kind of battery do you use? Do these vehicles use?
Sir, it is the lithium ion batteries that is being used.
What is this lithium ion thing in that batteries? I have only idea about this acid batteries. What is this lithium ion batteries?
Sir, I have to read on these topics.
Okay. Now, since you have worked with Citibank,
Yes.
recently banks have been in a bad news. This IL&FS crisis. What is that IL&FS crisis? What did happen?
Sir, IL&FS is an NBFC, and
What is NBFC?
non-banking financial companies, and
Non-banking financial companies. So there must be some financial companies also. We'll come to that later. So please continue. Yeah.
yes, sir. So, sir, it was IL&FS was a big infrastructure financing company. What happened? It faced severe liquidity crunch because of the kind of loans it provides is of long-term loans it gives, and it could not repay the debts that it had taken from the financial institutions, and thus there was a big liquidity crunch. And so it led to the IL&FS crisis.
So, is there any lack or lacuna in provisions, government provisions that it happened, or there was some malafide intentions inside the company that it happened?
Sir,
any provisions from RBI side or something, or the government side to prevent this?
Sir, I'm not clear about that.
So you're not aware of it. So your hobby that I would like to understand, your hobby is teaching and jogging.
Yes, sir.
Teaching. Where do you teach?
Sir, I got the opportunity of teaching village children when I was worked as a volunteer in my college under NSS, and also formed a group, Bharat Vandan. And apart from that, teaching being my hobby, I find pleasure teaching my fellow friends and anyone whoever comes for any kind of guidance or mentoring.
So right now you stay in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So do you get chance to go and teach people?
Yes, sir. I started doing once. There was a slum area near my place, but because of the time constraints and because of time constraints, I could not carry it out regularly.
Jogging. Do you get time to go for jogging, or do you think it is advisable to go for jogging in Delhi's environment? People say it's quite polluted.
Sir, jogging being an outdoor activity and Delhi's air pollution, it has been advised that till the air quality index it remains up to a it does not lowers down a certain level, it is not advisable to go outdoor for jogging. But there are options of jogging in the closed environments on a treadmill and
So I would like to understand why air quality of Delhi goes bad and why it doesn't happen in other places, or it is happening across the country. What exactly is the situation?
So the situation worsens for Delhi more because of its landlocked nature, because of it, and also because of its geographical placing. There are the farms in Haryana and Punjab. At the onset of the Rabi season, there is a large scale stubble burning, and because of the wind movement in the winters, it aggravates the problem of Delhi. And moreover, in winters, Delhi faces more problem. This is more because of the geographical and meteorological situation, as the wind movement is less and the pollutants, they do not get to disperse off. So these are the major reasons which distinguishes it from the other cities.
What do you think? What measures should be taken to tackle this problem?
Sir, regarding stubble burning, there was the measure that was taken was, firstly it was banned. It was a temporary measure, but now as the Haryana government has started working on the long term measure, that is including people by incentivizing them and showing them the better prospects of using the stubbles, and also making the machines available through the custom hiring centers. So that is a very good step. Moreover, for Delhi itself, the people are becoming more aware towards using shared vehicles and not polluting much during the festive seasons. So these are the steps that the people from Delhi itself are taking.
What better use of stubble can happen?
So stubble has many fold uses, like it can be used as a compost, as fodder, and even in the bioethanol we are talking of, it can act as raw material for that too.
And what kind of machines, any example which is being distributed?
Sir, I have heard of the Happy Seeder harvester machine that would take off the stubble and also aid in the harvesting process also. So it would reduce the time also, and would get the problem of burning would also be solved.
And this Diwali season, was the pollution less or more compared to last year?
Sir, I guess the pollution level was a bit lowered because the large scale burning did not take place to that extent, and there was the introduction of green crackers, though their availability was quite limited.
So did green crackers make an impact or not?
Sir, it would make in the coming times, as the awareness would increase, and also the variety of such crackers and their accessibility will increase in the market.
How are green crackers different from regular crackers?
Green crackers, like the conventional crackers, in my knowledge, they use gunpowder, and they have certain chemicals, harmful chemicals like barium, etc. So these green crackers, they are not using those chemicals, and moreover they are using water. The water vapor comes up, releases, which acts as the dust suppressant. So green crackers are more environment friendly in compared to
Should we, like, India is culturally a very rich and diverse country, and all throughout the year we have some festival or other going on. But these festivals are also environmentally very costly. If you talk about Hindu festivals per se, Diwali is in the sense of air pollution, Holi would be in the sense of water wastage, water pollution. So should these kind of celebrations, which are now environmentally unsustainable, should these be controlled or outrightly banned?
No, sir. This process, this is not a viable process to ban or even control the festivities, because in my opinion, the problem that arises is from the over commercialization of any activity. Like when it comes to Diwali, the focus is more on crackers or on excessive lightnings. So what we need is making the people more aware that they could use earthen pots, or in case of Holi they can use more of organic colors. So the festivals, they are the tying the factor of our diversity. They should be celebrated, and the need is more awareness among people.
Women, tell me something. You organized Women Empowerment Cell. What did you do in that?
Sir, in the Women Empowerment Cell, the basic process for us was to go and understand the real problem that women are facing.
What are those?
Sir, like...
Since you are a woman, I want 5 real problems.
Okay, sir. So can I tell it on behalf of my past experiences, or the...
Whatever, you have got all liberty. Because you are the sole representative from my point of view. So, go ahead.
Sir, the basic problem that we as a student faced was that women, it was very difficult to build trust, to build confidence in them. So even though they were illiterate, but they had certain major basic skills and talents, but they were not confident enough how to monetize them or how to make gainful use of them. So the basic problem that today, the number one problem I would say is the women who have accepted their status as suboptimal because of the patriarchal society. Then second problem would be that women, they are not getting proper education, and that is leading to poor awareness about their own nutrition, about their own health, and then they are not able to take care of their own children and family, if we say. The third problem would be there is lack of economic empowerment in women. They are still not able to there are a lot of unpaid jobs, and they are not getting equal wages for their work.
Right.
So fourthly would be and for me this would be one of the biggest problem, the early marriage situation for women. And
Is it still happening?
yes sir, it is still happening. And this early marriage situation, I guess it is the harbinger of all the problems that we say for women. And lastly, sir, domestic violence and sexual harassment is also the one of the major problems.
Now I would like to understand a couple of things. Your mother is working, right?
Yes sir.
So, for those who are not working, should they be given a salary by the husband?
Yeah, the care economy thing.
For a lady who is not working or not earning, should there be provision of salary for the wife from the husband side?
Sir, instead of giving salary for household chores, it would be better if...
Not for household chores, for the services that they are rendering in the house.
The care economy without.
Should the wife be asking for a salary for her work in the house, not for household chores?
Sir, instead of asking for a salary from the husband, they should ask for equal participation in the services that they are providing. Like
The husband says that, I go to office at 9 o'clock in the morning. I came, since it is very tough job, I only can come back at 11:30. I cannot participate.
So for me, the services in the family, it would be very difficult to monetize, to put it in monetary.
Why not? See, why not? I, as a husband, am not working or not contributing anything. Today is Sunday, I am here. Should my wife be asking for the salary from me?
Sir, in my opinion, salary cannot define the efforts and the services. In fact,
How should it be compensated?
See, Kunchan, yeah, first answer and then I'll ask you about it.
so for compensation, I would ask for the male counterpart also to.
I cannot do. See, this is Sunday. I am here since 10 o'clock and probably would sit till 6:30 or 7. And then on Monday I'll go to office, I'll work there. I cannot participate, that's my practical problem. I cannot participate in household chores, I cannot, help my wife.
And economic empowerment, as you have pointed out, is one
And
of
you
the-
want economic empowerment for women. Should my wife be asking for a salary from me?
Uh, Again, sir, I could not think of salary, but yes, any of her monetary requirements, any of her needs, they should, because she is not earning, but then she is taking the basic care of household. So yes, she is entitled to all the monetary needs that she is having, and it should not be limited.
Better ask for salary.
Then
Give me
how does
50% salary.
economic-
Give me 50% salary, and rest 50% you got to manage for household chores, like groceries and all, and then 50% is my salary.
Economic empowerment and financial independence, how does it happen? Because without the contribution of the lady of the house, the family cannot survive. She's taking care of the kids, she's taking care of the
Elders of the
elders
family.
and everything. Without that contribution, the person who's going out and earning, the husband so to say, cannot do that task with a free mind, with peace कि भाई घर पे सब कुछ ठीक ठाक है. So that contribution is equally
So, 24/7 work.
Yeah.
24/7
Yes,
work.
sir, the work.
Is she not entitled
And see,
for
also at the
salary?
same time, when you're saying something like her financial needs, which is to say whatever expenses she needs are supposed to be met, that does not essentially give her any financial independence per se. She has to go to the husband for every need. She's going and asking for some money and giving him a reason for it, right? That essentially makes her a dependent, end-to-end dependent on the husband.
Yes, ma'am.
And he has the right to refuse any of her requests, citing whatever reason he wishes.
Is it not the sort of injustice happening in that case?
Why do you?
Okay, you become you are a policy maker. Now that government has given an option that you can straight away go to Niti Aayog after certain years of experience, and then you say you are taking the 3 constitutional provision or rules, laws that you would like to frame for empowerment of women. Now that you have listed down all the 5 main problems, 3 initiatives that you would like to take.
So first initiative would be increasing the marriage age of the women. 18 years is the age where we are able to just complete our basic schooling. So there should be enough time that women should be should get the time for graduation and maybe some time for employment. And because it is 21 years for males, so there should be some gender parity in that case.
So it should be 21. Or
Yeah, 21 or 23 according to the how the demography is now moving towards.
As per medical, 24 is the prime age of fertility. So if the woman goes for marriage at 23 because she's legally not allowed to get married before 23, so then you're getting married for reproduction, right?
Sir,
Otherwise, you pass the prime age.
And also about the social pressure, sir. Indian society, the thinking is that girls should be gotten married off early because not just in some circles it is the thinking that it frees the parents of the responsibility, but also of having children. Bearing children at around
So next,
25.
first is increasing
the marriage age, and secondly, I can think of reservations in the parliament.
Why only parliament? Why not in other jobs and all, everywhere?
Yes, why not think about reservation bureaucracy for that matter?
Why not in bureaucracy? Why only in parliament?
Sir, because I think for when I say parliament, there is more need of policies and gender sensitive policies, or there need to be a paradigm shift in thinking towards women problems. But when we talk of bureaucracy, or when we talk of any merit based job where the work has to be done, I think the potential should be the major criteria. And here what we can do is we can help them provide scholarships, or we can act as an enabling environment here.
But the policy is actually framed by the bureaucrats only. I mean, let's tell you, I mean, MPs or ministers, they actually give the input. They bring the popular sentiments, but ultimately the policy is to be drafted by policy makers, that is, bureaucrats only. So why not reservation bureaucracy, civil services? Okay, how much of reservation? What would be the figure number?
Sir, similar to that has been in our gram panchayats, maybe 33%.
Why 33 or why not 50%? From where has this number 33 came? Is there some random number or well thought out?
No, sir, I have no idea about
Then make it 50? 50-50 equal. When you're talking about equality,
so that reservation would be a kind of enforced in equality. So saying 50-50 would be more of an enforcement. By saying 33%, there is no bar. It could be 50% also, but that should come organically.
5%.
Sir, actually it is already close to 11 to 12%. So 33 would be a viable representation in the parliament.
50% population.
Okay, next. So this is the second one. First one, what did you talk about?
The
Age of
marriage.
marriage. Then you're talking about reservation. Third. Okay, what was your subject in mains examinations?
Sir, geography.
Geography. Gunjan, there is this fire in Australia. What did it happen? Jungle fire?
Sorry, sir, I could not read on that.
Okay. How does Indian monsoon operate?
Sir, Indian monsoon operates. There are multiple factors to it, and the southwest, the southwest because of the intertropical convergence zone, because of the apparent shifting of the sun, it shifts towards the tropic of Cancer, and that leads to the southwest monsoons deflecting towards India, and there are certain high pressure and low pressure zones, the Tibetan low pressure and Mascarene high pressure, which couple together, and they direct the southwest monsoon winds toward India, and thus India has a monsoon type of climate.
Okay. You want to go for police service? Second choice is your police service.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to do for to protect women? I mean, like to tackle crime against women.
Sir, my major step would be I would be focusing twofold, like from the reforms that I would be doing in my department, and also in the society. Sir, one major thing I feel is there is a lack of sensitization among policemen, and also there is kind of a fear psychosis among women and people in the society towards police. So my major step would be changing this perception. For that, I might be opening some training camps, and that too by police personnel itself, so of sensitizing women, of training women, so that women they gain confidence in the police machinery and they come up more. And also there would be programs on gender parity, on gender equality, so that men equally understand that violence is not a solution.
Okay, tell me one thing. I think that there should be a mandatory capital punishment for rape accused. What's your take on that?
Yes, sir. Capital punishment has been, in fact, approved as a heinous crime by government also.
So, heinous crime is different thing. I'm saying, or rape accused were proven guilty for rape, there should be a capital punishment. What's your take on that?
Sir, I think I'll approve this case, and moreover.
Should there be a separate judiciary for that? For handling crime against women?
Sir, there should be fast track courts for this, so that the judicial proceedings, they should be done in a very time bound manner, and not much delay is done.
Gunjan, tell me something. What do you mean by radicalization of youth?
Radicalization of youth, in my opinion, would be where the ideology of the youth changes and it becomes against the state. They start thinking. They start getting a terrorist and a militant kind of mindset, and they start have attained the ideology which is against the state.
Okay, Tanya. Right now, there's the news that auto sector is going down. It is going into downward spiral. What could be the potential reasons for downturn of automotive sector in India?
So one major reason that I could think of is that because of our environmental compliances, we are moving toward BS6. And so that has created a kind of confusion among the people. They are waiting for better the BS6.
What is BS6?
Sir, these are the BS6 is Bharat stage norms. So these are the norms which we have acquired from the European standards, and these norms are regarding the vehicular emissions. Stating the quantity of sulfur and nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide being released.
Okay. So you said something about.
Yes, sir. So BS6 would be one of the major reasons for that, and also because there is a talk about electric vehicles too. So there is this. People are generally waiting for it. Moreover, there has been a general decrease in demand from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which were from where the highest demand for the automobile is coming in coming days. So that also led to the decrease.
Why is this demand reducing from tier 1 to 3 cities? It could, sir, I do not know the exact reasons, but it could be attributed to the lower income, and because tier 2, tier 3 cities, there is still mostly agrarian, manufacturing potential is not being built up. So in the years when the agriculture produce doesn't come good, so there are chances that demand then lowers. But it is being said that the economy will be propelled by these lower tier cities, because tier 1 cities, when they kind of got stagnated. To tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and then thereafter rural Bharat is going to lead the demand. So why is this demand slowing down, especially for the lower end vehicles, the say 3 lakh, 4 lakh, the starting end of vehicles? So why is it that?
So because in my opinion, tier 2, tier 3 cities, there still has not been moved towards inclusion towards organized sector. A lot of informal sector still exists there today, and moreover there has not been sustainable urbanization. So though tier 2, tier 3 cities are being banged as the generators of economic momentum, what we say, but still because there is lot of migration towards the saturated class 1 cities. So these problems, if these will be solved, there would be like more MSMEs and more labor intensive industries. The demand would definitely shore up, and they would create a more demand base.
Okay, Gunjan, thank you very much we'll call you in 5 minutes for your discussion.
Sure.
Right? Okay, Gunjan. You look nervous. Why so? You shouldn't be nervous. You are a confident girl, but you push yourself to a level where you might look like aggressive. Go away. Looking confident is fine, don't become aggressive. You are confident and it is very much, it's a pasting on your face that you are a confident girl. You don't need to showcase it that you are confident. You are confident by your persona, by your personality, you are a confident girl. So the moment you came inside, you sat, you started talking, you're confident. But you're nervous. What is most important thing is that if you take the burden of clearing this examination, you will create a problem. Why? Unnecessary burden would not make you run fast. So simple, huh? If you're running without taking any bag on your shoulder, and then you're taking a huge 20 kg bag on your shoulder, there's no big difference, right? So this taking additional pressure is a baggage which you shouldn't be carrying. Second thing, it seems you have not yet prepared for your interview. When is your interview?
It's the 26th February.
It's just 20 days, right?
Yes, sir.
You have not yet prepared. Why so?
Sir, firstly, the topics from electrical engineering, like last year also I could not get time, and this year also I am not able to brush up, like even on.
You don't need to get into technicalities. Those whosoever are there are going to be there, they would ask this fundamental thing, very fundamental thing, very simple: current, electricity. What else would they know? Electromagnetic induction. These are just fundamental things. You would not probably be asked about something very deep like semiconductors and all. No. Because they also would not be able to appreciate or understand. They would not be asking about microprocessors, VLSI and all. They might ask what is VLSI, but then you should be knowing about the definition and then that's it. They would not be getting in detail why started asking questions, because your academics was good, 8.15.
Yes.
It's a good score. So definitely you need to understand, Gunjan, that your dad is a well balanced dad.
Yes.
You are a confident girl. See, you need to understand your own progression. That will give you a hint about the kind of question that you are going to get. You are a confident girl. They would not get into pinning about your personality. So they straight away would like to see your academic achievements. So you are excellent there, electrical engineering. They just would like to slightly touch upon that. See, that's why I didn't ask you why you want to become IS. I didn't want to get into that, because you're a confident girl and your integrity is not in doubt. At least in my opinion. So that's why I didn't ask that question deliberately. I actually decided to skip. So your education is good. So I just wanted to touch upon simple things. It wouldn't take much time, maybe a couple of days, and you would be able to brush up initial knowledge. Just like Then I went into your job. Where did you work? What was the job responsibility? The moment I talked, you said Citibank. Sorry. Then there are problems around, right, in banking sector. You need to touch those points.
Yes, sir.
Everything in general, many things have happened. Chapter 2 and all, everything has come. RBI had issued those directives and then you take it back and all. So the moment you say that Citibank,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to give you a hint as what all you need to prepare. Not everything needs to be covered, because in 20 days you won't be able to do it. And I know you're going to take lots of pressure for that. So, very logical way. You worked in a bank, there was a problem in banking sector. You need to know about it. What were the problems? What could be the possible solutions? What action government took? Whether it was right or sufficient? Not right. Whether it was sufficient? If yes, then what are those measures? If not sufficient, what additional measures could be taken? Now from there, you came for preparation, and then you have done not many things in your college time. You worked in Schlumberger. Definitely, this name is a unique name. You got to understand. See, I say Infosys. Okay, I know Infosys. The moment you see Schlumberger, it's a new name. The moment you say that it's related to oil and petroleum sector, they would be asking about it. Why? Because India traditionally has never had oil reserves, and India has been dependent. And there are lot many things that is happening. I decided to skip those part. Otherwise, I would have gone into foreign affairs also. Oil, mein there is a problem. India would definitely get hurt by whatever is happening, or at least would be impacted by that. So then something is happening in Iran, something is happening in Saudi Arabia, something is happening in Venezuela. Everywhere something happening, and India has to keep on balancing. So you need to touch upon those countries. Then you also have to prepare about Afghanistan, because there you got pipeline and all. So India has taken many steps, invested in development of Java port and all. So those areas you need to touch. See, these are quite natural. I'm just giving you hints so that you think as what all you need to prepare. So once you went there, then you're saying that you have participated in women empowerment. Now here you got to be really innovative and unique. You shouldn't be going to stereotyping something. Your idea should be yours. Now see, you said 23. It should be well thought of, because as per the medical science, 24 is the prime age of fertility. That's the prime age. After that, the fertility starts decreasing. So it starts peaking up from 16. It goes to 24, and it starts decreasing thereafter. Right. So if you make 23, 24 is a tough call. 18, you're saying is not a right thing. Since you are a woman and as a male, I'm bound to take your word. 18 is not a suitable age. If you're saying no, it is not suitable, I'm bound to take it. But then what? There comes the critical power of assimilation and balance and logical thinking. Everything comes into play. So logically you have to think, why 23? Why not 21? Why not 18? So here, I would be judging.
Yeah, also this difference. Why is the 18 and 21 का difference happening? Historically वो क्यों रखा गया है?
Yeah.
You need to also like ये वाला चीज़ also happened quite a few times जब वो 33% पे भी बात हो रही थी. So you need to kind of go down, dig deeper. That is something that really needs to be touched upon.
See, you also have said that please ask question about women empowerment. That's why this that you've written so many things. That what does this mean? You want me to ask question on that? You got to prepare for that, right? If you're mentioning the word women empowerment, I'm going to ask question, because you are giving me hint. Please ask question related to this. That's the meaning of this, right? So if you've written women empowerment, you're going to know about the problems related to women, and then your solution. There are solutions. There are steps taken by government. What are the steps that you think should be taken? Then naturally, see, you can't expect that questions would be asked on a straight line. So that's why, and that's my duty, of course, that I asked you to board you out. I wanted to make you uncomfortable and unstable. That I asked you, why shouldn't there be salary for wives? So you got to think about it. I'm not going to give you answer on that, because everybody's answer would be different. Mine would be yes. There definitely should be a salary, and it's a duty of the husband to give salary to the wife. Yours could be different. You might say that no, there should not be any salary, because then it becomes a financial transaction, and husband-wife relationship is not about financial transaction. Why should at all be a salary? Why should the complete salary be given to the wife, and she should manage the household chores and spend money on herself as well? That could be another solution, both ways. So see, I am giving answer. I shouldn't be. You should think about your own answer. since I'm as a guide, I'm giving you both kind of answer. Yes, one part is yes, there should be a salary. Another part, why just part of salary? Give complete salary. Let her run the show. And the male should be just a wage earner or the laborer. The way it happens with bees. There is a queen bee and then or a worker bee. So there is just a queen bee and the worker bees. So that should be the status of women in the family.
So, but won't it come as a more very aggressive
See,
stance?
if you're
See, all I'm saying, this is my point, right? You got to frame your own answer. See,
Try
I'm
to
just
figure
trying
out-
to open up your mind.
Yeah.
try to see what your moral standing is on this, and then say something. If you want to go for something, might say joint account. Salary should go into a joint account. Khatam baat.
We are just giving you clues.
Right?
Yeah.
We are not giving you answers.
Essentially,
Answer should be yours.
you decide how you want to present it, and then go on presenting on it. And see, obviously, in this entire interaction, we know you feel very, very strongly about women empowerment. Every single time you've answered on women empowerment, you've actually, there's a spark in your eyes. Your body language shows how strongly you feel as a part of the society. Maybe on some level you've felt that women need to be more empowered, or you've gone through something, you've tried to, like, from personal experience, whatever it is, but it is obvious that you feel very, very strongly on it. So the one thing, and you're a confident girl, you come off as a strong girl, right? You're serious, you look like somebody who should not be messed with, right? So when a girl comes off like that, these things where you show that chink in your armor, where you show that emotional angle, is where you will be pinned. Okay? Because that is one difference that you want between an administrator and some normal regular HR. That your administrator should not get emotional.
Okay.
Right? And so this is where you need to kind of curb your enthusiasm to a certain degree, or curb your aggression. Like, for instance, I think sir will also talk about it from that rape question, right?
Yeah.
Capital punishment. I mean, think more on it. Don't give an abrupt answer. Try to give a very, even if you have to say that, okay, capital punishment, yes, maybe in certain cases is needed. Or if you want to say something like you are completely against capital punishment, you can take whatever stance, but at the same time give a more holistic kind of an answer to why not, and give your reasoning behind it a little more.
See, you yourself are saying that you work for women empowerment. Women empowerment has many dimensions, and you should be a master on that. Okay. First thing is you're a woman. So you are the sole representative of women in the board. Even if a lady is sitting on the other side of the table, she is not the representative because she is the evaluator. So then you are the sole representative of women. So all aspects must be thoroughly covered. You should not be looking emotionally unstable, because emotional stability is one of the parameters. So you should be emotionally very stable. There is absolutely nothing wrong in saying that yes, this simply should be hanged, because they have tried to attack the very psyche. Rape is just not about physical harm; it's about the killing the psyche, individual, existence. But this is one that logic that I'm giving. You might be having something different. That should be there, right?
So
Because
I
they would
should be
expect,
giving.
you should be the sole representative of women there.
See,
When the topic is about women, you are the representative of women, because you have mentioned that. And see, our answer is just like a feeder to you. That's not the modern answer. That's what you will be preparing for yourself.
And another thing that as a woman, as a girl in this field, talking about women empowerment, the one thing you will see in the society is that when women talk about this particular thing, that emotional angle kind of brings them down. हर जगह ये बोला जाएगा, लड़की है हाँ ये तो sensitive होगी ही, right? so specially in something which actually affects women all in all stratas in all walks of life, you have to come out as objective. That is very, very, very important.
You shouldn't look emotional. You should be like, you're detached, yet you are attached.
Okay. You can look at it from an audience's perspective, even when so much is at stake.
See, try to understand one thing. It is widely accepted that women are better administrators, and now you are eyeing for that post. So you should be more, your thoughts, your ideas should be more interested, because you get into field, you will be expected to deliver better than others, and there you should not be either emotionally charged or biased or overboard. Very balanced, very logical. Then only you will be able to deliver in a more constructive manner. You need to prepare topics.
Yes.
Are you in the group, Telegram group of Phil's Daily?
Yes, I'm in the Phil's Daily.
I would expect you to participate there.
Sure.
And I think you must be going through all the details. For past 2 days we are not. Since
Oh.
I am here, so it's like it must be
Morning to evening.
is that there? But then, what you do, you think about all the topics. I have given you clue. How exactly should you be preparing? Because you have gone through certain phases. So that's how the board would proceed. Because the moment I saw this, the first thing that went into my eyes is like, electrical engineer from IIT Roorkee, very bright candidate. Your CAT is 8.15, exceptional, very good, a perfect CV. And then you have done so many things. You went to Slumberger, you were representative, and then you work on so many things. You do teaching, jogging, all so many things. So what I would perceive that, or what the board would perceive that, I'm going to get a perfect candidate, a very confident girl. Let me just test whether what's her area of interest. How does she look at the society and the country per se? So then, which way is to look at things? So first I would like to touch education, then the work and her interest areas, and then would get into areas that what all she is interested in. Subject, okay. Then is she aware of fire in Australia? Is she aware of Amazon fire? Is she aware of oil security and all? So thankfully you work there. You are aware. Wherever you work, you are a master there. Whatever other areas that we didn't touch, because that's not our intention to touch all those areas. Our intention is to look at the personality. So this is how you prepare, and go as a confident girl. Don't get nervous. You started as a very nervous candidate. Don't be nervous. Go as a confident girl, because that's what your dad projects, right?
Yeah, just one thing that I felt, just a small thing. Most of your answers, the chronology was nice. You went logically with the answers, even when you didn't know, when you even assumed, your logics were pretty much bang on. But by the end of the interview, you kind of developed some fatigue on that front. So like in the last answer that was being asked, you kind of decided to not use logic there. You kind of went with something a little more random, a little more ठीक है जो भी दिमाग में आ रहा है.
She was on such a pressure to perform well that
Yeah, maybe.
she was under tons of pressure.
Yeah, so kind of try to spring back. Especially, I think it was also because of the empowerment questions, and you have an emotional connect there. So, maybe it kind of moved something there. But at that point, just keep trying to get back to your calm and composed self quicker. Okay, and that would actually work very much in your favor. Even if you get riled up somewhere here and there, just come back quickly. So that they know that even if this girl is rattled by something, whenever a next question is asked, she can detach herself from that and come back to being logical. That would really work in your advantage. Yeah.
Thank you.